Despite the severe COVID-19 epidemic this year, we were able to quickly resume and ramp up production with the support of governments at all levels.
Well, for more on this, Chris Jones joins us now from London. He's Chief Analyst and Vice President at the technology market research provider Canalys. Welcome back to the program, Chris. Now, another impressive set of results for Tesla. Its fifth consecutive quarter of profit, its best quarter ever. Can you tell us more about what's behind these impressive figures?
Yeah, it's an amazing set of results, as you showed there on the screen there. Tesla has built up momentum. It's got really strong momentum in the market at a time when EV sales, there's strong demand for electric vehicles around the world. In the major markets of Europe, China, US, Tesla's still selling very well. It launched a new model this year, the Model Y, which is only available in the US right now. But as soon as the last model starts to flatten in terms of the demand, there's a new one coming. So that's been the model over the last few years. The Model Y is the latest one of that. Meanwhile, around the world, the Tesla Model 3 is still doing really well, and it's being produced in China now successfully. So they're number one in most of the major markets where they operate now. So very impressive results.
Now, obviously, Elon Musk, the founder of Tesla, is very happy with with these latest results. Is also really pushing this idea that we're not too far off from self-driving cars, and that Tesla is really on the cusp of that. Now, you lead the intelligent vehicle service globally for your company. How realistic are those expectations that we'll see self-driving cars in a matter of years?
In a matter of years, it's realistic, but it's going to be a step-by-step process in terms of getting these vehicles on the road. Many of these will be operated as a so-called robo-taxi fleet. And that's starting to be trialed now. We heard Waymo recently launching their fleet in the Phoenix, Arizona area. But it'd be very kind of geo-fenced in terms of where they can operate. These are roads they've been testing on for years and years. Tesla and others are bringing it into cars that we buy and use every day. Tesla is probably the only company that gets some of its technology in its cars before many others would. Many other car makers would be testing for years and years before they put some of this technology in their cars. But Tesla is doing it. It's almost like treating its customers as its drivers as beta users, pretty much. Then updates are made and upgrades and improvements to the systems are made. So we're getting there, but there's controversy in the naming of it. Full self-driving. The human driver needs to be in control. They need to be really aware of the situation to be able to take over when needed. So it's a difficult area. Lots of car makers are trying it. They have different models with different versions of this same kind of technology. But Tesla is certainly ahead in terms of getting into cars that we can own and drive ourselves.
Now, after these results were released, Tesla's share price shot up 5%, really cementing its the mantle that it is the world's most valuable car maker. But in terms of sales, I mean, Tesla still lags behind basically all of the other traditional automakers like Toyota, Daimler, VW. Is Tesla really worth almost $400 million?
It's amazing.
400 billion, I should say.
Yeah. It's amazing that the valuation of the company now. Tesla is not a mainstream car maker. Some of those you mentioned are mainstream car makers, from the small mini type car to the large SUV trucks and many other types of vehicles. Where Tesla competes, it is now leading. It's the leading premium car maker. It's the leading EV car maker around the world, and it's going to be expanding its lineup of cars over time. The overall car market has had a really tough few years, and then coming into this year with the pandemic and lockdowns, most other car makers are almost on their knees, really. But Tesla will probably exit this year having the best year of any of them, at a time when the EV market, the electric vehicle market, is booming in many markets around the world. Last year, it was only about 2.5% of cars sold globally were electric vehicles or plug-in hybrids, but that's increasing quite quickly now in major markets, and Tesla is really leading that. The Tesla Model 3, as I mentioned, is the leading EV in most of the markets it operates in, and that's against car makers who've had EVs over time, but they failed to really expand on their lineup, and Tesla is the clear leader there. We've got more EVs. It's a better choice of cars. The range of the vehicles is improving all the time. We've got faster charging, more charging stations for public use. Government incentives are helping, and all this is at the same time as we've had a backlash against diesel vehicles and kind of higher polluting vehicles. And with the pandemic this year and the lockdowns, we've seen how the air quality has improved with fewer cars on the road. So there's certainly a lot of concern about the air pollution and the environment, and that only goes in the favour of the EV makers.
Okay, I guess we'll see if Tesla can keep up this momentum in the coming quarters. Chris Jones from Canalys in London, thank you again for joining us.